us look at what has happened and how it's affecting them in their family's life. Look at what it's done to our family. Let them draw their feelings and their fears without judging. Begin to help them look toward the cross of Jesus. He's the help. See, that's what we're trying to get them to see, that, you know what? Ultimately, the healing that we as a family and you and I are going to have is going to come through the help of Jesus, because he's the one who died because of my inability to be able to help my life. Help them see how others in the family are doing. And remember, keep it confidential. Garden session 4. Think of the life continuing without their loss. My loved one is in a new life, and so am I. It will be hard, but I'm going to trust God all the way. And there's a good time for the dragonfly story. And incidentally, if you'd like a copy of that dragonfly story, my wife has copies of it in the other room there. Boy, it just does so much good for you to think about your loved one up there flying around. I'll tell you what it does. Whenever I see a dragonfly, I want to talk to him as is Jason. You know what I mean? And then I saw that other picture, Patch Adams, so I want to talk to butterflies too. You know what I mean? If you saw the end of that movie, it was awesome. But, you know, these things happen, you know, and then my wife and I are hooked on Touched by an Angel, and I got angels all over. Yeah. I know I'm weird. To help them say goodbye to their relationship, and to help them see that there's a new life after death, and that's where their loved one. And you know, one of the main things that happens when you help your youngster come through, you help yourself. You help yourself. When you help them to do the kind of thinking that you think you should be doing, you're getting as much help as they are. And plus, it's creating a tremendous bond. It's creating a beautiful bond between you. And you can do this even as an entire family. And we've seen this working with churches and that, you know, or working with people who've had critical things happen, you know, but getting a bunch of kids together and talking about what they feel about that and what has happened. It just does wonders. I've watched the whole group. I've watched memorial services, and it's just been absolutely awesome to see the healing. Watch the healing happen before me while we're just talking about those people, and someone's interested in what I'm feeling, what my experiences was, and what my history is, and we can say goodbye because we know they're in a better place. I've watched healing happen, and I just rejoice over it. I've seen the other side of it, too. I did a funeral one time for a guy out in southwest Ohio, and we had 3 people fainted on the floor at the same time. That's how emotional they were. I didn't even know what to do with that. You know what I mean? They were just emotional, and they didn't know how. They had no tools to be able to handle their emotions. To show the youngster that when they think about the wonderful life their loved one lived, they forget about the pain just a little bit. And not be afraid to look at, touch, or laugh over things related to their lost love. Garden session 5, to build a bridge away from their grief to the memories of the past into their future. Just like we said when you're grieving, you want to build a bridge between the person, the life that person lived, and the beautiful memories you have. And that helps your mind come away from the death scenes. You know, at first, after you've had all you left loss, you think of all the loss, and you think of the death, and you think of all those things, and it really brings a lot of pain. It really hurts. But then as you celebrate the person's life and celebrate that life that you have with them, it helps you to move from a death scene to a life scene. And that's what helps me to heal, because God is in life. God just said, I have come that you might have life, and then you might have it super abundantly. Jesus gave us life. So I want to build a bridge of those memories, celebrate their life. The goal, we want to encourage the youngster. We want them to see the power of God to give them strength and courage. See, now this is the process. See, we're talking about after 5 weeks here. After 5 weeks, we've talked about things, we've expressed things, we've talked about our feelings, and now we're thinking about ahead, and we're talking about life beyond this point, and what life's going to mean to us now, and as a family, and as a mother and daughter, or as a child. We want to encourage the youngsters. We want them to see the power of God to give them the strength and courage. We want them to express what they're feeling, what's going on in them. We want to make a little plan as to how they're going to be able to survive. We want them to start to imagine their loved one in heaven. We want to draw what they feel was their greatest memory of their loss. We want to let them draw their pain when they try to do this. We want to ask them to show their drawing how he or she depends on, who they depend on most, and these other things. The final session is to learn to trust God for the rest of their life. God, I know it's all over, but I know I can trust you for my life from now on. It's in the Word. I can trust God. To show the youngster that we must live by hope in the truth, and that we will find in the Bible. Romans 15:13, now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace believing, that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost. Process, try to get them to picture their loved one with Jesus, just like the Bible promised. Can you get that tape, Dave? Can you play that tape, that CD?